Yo, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to UTR Presents Bad Blood. It's season 2, episode 4. So it's 11 episodes in. Again, really short show. It's me, the co-founder of the NAAFP, the GREG, joined, of course, by my Saturday co-host, the MHN Kingston himself. Kenny, what's going on, brother?
What's going on? I'm back. My fang bangers. I've been gone the past couple of weekends pulling daddy duties, graduations and stuff. Graduation season is over, so I'm back to talk about some vamps.
Good. Oh, man.
Yes. You know what, Batty? I've been doing daddy duties. That's where I've been. The first one, my 21-year-old graduated college. Tyler, of course, I mentioned that. And then yesterday, my 13-year-old graduated middle school. She was valedictorian, walked away with a bunch of awards. So I've been doing that. So I've been doing daddy duties these past couple of weekends. So that's where I've been at. All right. Now that graduation and prom season is done with, I can get back to being an asshole with the rest of you.
Oh, man. Yeah, congratulations for your kids, man. That's awesome. And again, we don't know what the hell happened, but they ended up being geniuses, apparently.
Yeah. Like I definitely from their mama, because shit, it's me. Let's let's be realistic here. Like, no, I am extremely proud of my babies. Thank you so much, Mongo. Like I said, me and you've been pretty much brothers for the longest, so you watched them grow up just as well as I've watched them grow up. So when I mentioned graduations the first time, Mongo was like, "The fuck are you talking about, dude? Like, weren't they just like, how did that happen?"
Graduation? She just started college yesterday. What do you mean graduate? And then man.
Yep, folks. Me and Mongo have been talking shit to each other for damn near a decade now.
I think we're about to hit a decade. Yeah, that's about right. Getting close.
Right.
But man. That's I know you're feeling old. This episode, you told me, because I didn't watch it until like Tuesday. You were like, "It's not a lot of fanging in this one, but not a lot of blood, not a lot of gore, but it's things are happening."
A lot. That's the first thing I said to you. I was like, "Did you watch it yet?" You said no. I said, "All right, it's not a lot of gore, so don't expect that this episode." But I told them, I said, "Watch it where you won't have anyone be able to interrupt you, because there's a lot of goddamn information going down."
Yeah, a ton. So much so I had to go back and rewatch the episode this morning to make sure I knew what the hell I was talking about. And so last week, Mike was on with us, and the last thing that we saw was Armand essentially, saving Louis, or like not going through with the kill. He had like the flame on his hand, and Louis said, "Could you just cut my head off? The burning, it doesn't
right.
look."
My man Louis said, "Look, I've seen what the burning shit can do, and I ain't trying to suffer. Just like this shit now, please.
Make it quick." Armand said, "What, man? Stop being so fucking
paranoid, bitch. Like, everybody ain't gonna try to kill you." Then Louis finally looked up and said, "Oh, you walked me home." My mom was like, "Yeah, nigga, you my man. Of course I'm gonna walk you home."
Yeah, I'm here to get laid. I'm not here to kill somebody. Damn.
Right? Like, what the fuck, bro? Like, come on. I'm trying to get some, my nigga. You looking good. Like, I ain't trying to kill you. That's pretty much what was going through Armand's head, while Louis' ass is sitting there going, "Shit, I'm about to be Joe Pesci and Goodfellas. They about to whack. He's about to whack me."
Oh God. Before we continue, I want to bring up these again. We got to hear what the great laws were last episode. So real quick, when I run down those. Number 1, each coven must have its leader, and only he might order the working of the dark order upon a mortal, which means only the leader gets to decide who becomes a vampire.
Pretty much. I'm sorry to interrupt you. One thing that I learned from the previous episode, the episode where we got the rules from. I didn't know that Stott was the one who pretty much told them, "Look, Satan." I didn't know that vampires pretty much worshipped Satan, or at least these vampires decided that Satan was their god. That was news to me, and I'm like, I've never, like, in all the vampire stories and stuff that I know and stuff like that, I always knew like there was like the main vampire, he cursed God or whatever the case may be. Like that I always knew, but I never knew that they decided that Satan was going to be their god. So when they
Yeah.
were going back and showing like Armand and the coven when they first started and stuff like that, and how they were like pretty much, the Lord Satan. I'm like, wait, the Lord, what? Who? What?
Like that came out of Hot Topic, man. Just
Like, yeah, like, whoa, you ain't gonna just skip past that. When did this start happening? I didn't know that.
I did think it was funny. Stott goes down there and he brings a cross with Jesus on it, and they're all like,
Right.
And he's like, it's just wood. And he like breaks it on the ground. It's just wood.
Right.
Just
He's like, oh, I forgot you guys are scared of the stick man. That's what he called him, the stick man.
The stick man. Yeah. Oh my god. Like, Stott. God, man.
Damn, Lestat. Some of us in the human world pray to the stick man. You just can't just call him like that and just break him.
Let's see. Number 2 is the dark gifts must never be given to the crippled, the maimed, or children, which means that they're already in breaking one of the laws because of Claudia.
Right.
No vampire must commit to writing the history of the vampires is number 3, which we see in this episode. Santiago catches Claudia writing in her journal.
Mm-hmm.
But he ends up saying, look, we all break a law every now and then.
Right. Pretty much saying like, yo, the person that made me was a wonderful person, and his ass broke the fucking law, and his ass is over there. Like, and if I was he pretty much tells her, if I was as much of a stickler for the law as I forgot which vampire he named. He said you would have already been sitting in one of those by now.
Yeah. Yeah, somebody, I think it's somebody that's still in the troop is who he mentioned, right?
It's the female that's in the troop. That the one who plays Claudia's mother in the play.
Yeah.
That's who he's referring to.
Yeah. Is Claudette? No. Is that it?
I don't
like that.
I believe it's either that or it begins with the E. I know there's something. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll get to it. Number 4, no vampire shall ever reveal his or her true nature to a mortal and let the mortal live. Understandable. And number 5, no vampire may ever destroy another vampire except that the coven master has the power of life and death over all his flock. And it is his obligation to finally seek the destruction of all those who have broken these 5 laws.
Basically, Louis and Claudia are already in direct violation of 3 of these fucking 5 laws right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like the journaling, Claudia being 14, and killing another vampire without the okay.
Yep. So that, you looking at that going into this, you're like, oh, these guys they're fucked.
Right. They're like, oh, you're dead. You're dead. Like the writing is on the wall. One of y'all is dead. Or both. Louis thought it was gonna be him. He wanted him getting some baby oil rubbed on him later on instead. And we'll see. Claudia is running around. Claudia is running around living life.
Yeah.
Eddie, have you ever read the books or seen the movie? If you read the books or seen the movie, you know your answer to that already.
The guy that I had on before Mike 2 weeks ago, my buddy, my best friend, my Stroop, aka Kool-Aid, he had never gotten into this stuff except for the movie. Okay. And then Mike said he had not done any, he hadn't seen any of it. So I've done my best to like not discuss that with them. Of course, you and I know what happens. But I've done my best to make sure like they don't know going in what's happening. And I think you're the one that told Mike it's best to don't even look at the movie, don't even look stuff up, just go into this blind.
Right.
Because the best someone can do.
Right. Because honestly, when you know that, when you've either read the books or watched the movie, like you and I have, it took us, we had some very serious issues with how is this going to be portrayed now.
Mm-hmm.
Like we were literally like the first like episode of our show, we were sitting there like, I don't know how this is going to pan out because A, B, and C is this, and now they got that being GHI. Like how's this going to interact with each other? We had very serious qualms about how they were going to intermingle and how they were going to transition from book/movie to television. And they've done an amazing job where we had that's not a doubt or a question in our mind anymore. But if you have read or gone into the movies, that's going to be your reservation about the TV show from beginning. Like I literally just got my mom into watching the TV shows because she was like, well, I've seen the movie and I read the books. My mother actually owns the books at her house. She can pull one up right now. Like she's a big Anne Rice fan. Okay. So like I had to literally say, no, Ma, it's good. It's different. She watched half an episode with me and she was like, oh, I said, yeah. Here's the code for my AMC app. Go back and watch season 1 and catch up. And now she's all caught up.
Yeah, it's again, we've said it before, but like this is a great example of how you adapt something and you make it your own. But
right.
you have the core concepts there. And this episode starts off with Claudia doing her play, and this song, I hate it. And I think that's the point, is you're supposed to hate it because she hates it. And even Santiago and the rest of the crew hate it.
But the thing about it is the first time she did it, absolutely loved it. She loved the way the crowd reacted to her. It even surprised Louis because he didn't know she could sing like that. So everything was a whirlwind of excitement. She was the new it star.
Mm-hmm. And we see that so fast in no time. There are people coming in to watch this play dressed as Claudia on stage.
Just for her and that blue baby doll dress.
Yeah.
Just for her. Like she's walking down the street handing out flyers and people are singing her song. Matter of fact, some dude did that and she got pissed and fucked around and ate his ass.
Ate him.
She did that.
The play, I'm gonna mess this up so bad. Mon beignet, I am de la finesse, which is roughly translates to my baby loves the window. Which she's playing this child on stage who's like kept upstairs, and I don't know if it's like the attic or if it's just like her bedroom, which is at the top of the house. And
she has the bird, and she wants to be the birds, and they keep pulling her back from the window, and one day there was no pulling her back.
The maid like nails her foot into the floor, and Claudia goes, my claw. She goes, it's not a claw, it is a foot, and it's gonna stay right there. Yeah. And then she like, I'm gonna flap my wings and pulls the nail out of the floor, and she goes to the window and just tries to fly out, and then we see her falling and just boom, crash into the floor or the ground. She's dead. And the song she sings, like I don't like windows when they're closed, is the big number. And again, like you said, when she first did it, she loved being the star on stage. But the more she did it, and the more she had to be stuck with, they gave me this part because I look like a child. I'm stuck in this. She becomes more,
aware of her age and aware of
yeah.
her situation. She's starting to realize I will never grow up. And it dawns and clicks on her. Shit. I'm going to be playing this role for the rest of eternity if we continue with this play. I'm going to be stuck in a child's role no matter what. Even if they give me a new character, I'm stuck in a child's role because technically I'm a fucking child.
Mm-hmm.
She's a 40 what? Technically she's like a 40 some odd old child because her and
Yeah.
Louis have been together for like 35 years by now,
Yeah.
if I'm not
Something. Yeah.
mistaken.
She's close to 50 at this point. Yeah. Yeah. Because she was born. See, Louis, all that happened to them like 1913, 15, something like that. That's around the
Right.
time. So yeah, that about checks out. Um, and by this time, during how the players are going, it's been 2 years since they've gone to Paris. So you're adding even more on top of that. Like it's
Right.
she is past the point of like I should be a full grown adult. I have like she's seen the world change around her, to the point where these like, grown adult men that are just being condescending towards her, she's seen more than they have. And I think that's part of the reason why she attacked that one guy that sang the song at her. Just she's tired of being looked at as a child. And it's this episode does a fantastic job of putting you in the not putting you in the shoes of Claudia, but giving you an inside look into her brain and how it works. Because the majority of this episode is about Claudia and baby Lou and her having to come to terms with what she is and who she is.
A
And
child, a
yeah,
14-year-old child. That's
yeah,
exactly what she is. She's a 14-year-old child. She's never gonna grow up. Never. And that's part of the, if you remember from season one, that was also one of the issues that she had because with her boyfriend being the fact that she's a vampire and can, heal herself and regenerate, she was a virgin every single time they had sex because she's a 14-year-old child.
which just like that detail alone made you and I both go, oh my God. Like we were both kind of just, we're just kind of shaken by that. That's
That was
kind of,
horrible. That was,
yeah,
we were both like, this is terrible.
yeah. This is horrific stuff. Like, we talked before about how like this show does a great job at telling you not all vampire life is all it's cracked up to be. There's a lot of misery. And damn, Claudia has been through some shit. We
Right.
do,
This poor girl has, like, if when you really look at Claudia's life, Claudia had a horrible beginning and so far to her vampire existence. Remember, she was burnt to a fucking crisp.
mhm.
She's continuously forever going to be a virgin. She's a child. She was fucking raped and maimed. And like this poor girl is like, if anything, you know how they said the vampires somewhat went mad, and when the other vampire threw herself in the fire, because, and the story that they tell of how their master Bruce, he just finally eventually went crazy and just decided to kill himself. That's, you wouldn't be surprised if that happened to Claudia.
Yeah, really, yeah, exactly. Um, God, man, this is so fucking tough. Just watching what she's dealing with. Um, we cut to the present time, and Daniel Malloy is asking about the fire that took place at the theater, and that's when Armand says, "We didn't give you any information on a fire."
Right. And Daniel plays it off and says, "Oh, my assistant was looking something up and came across this picture because she thinks I'm covering the rehabilitation of this area post World War."
Yeah, which is a
So
great,
with great cover
yeah,
up, especially for that particular picture, and which was a great story. But we all know that was planted by the agent who pretty much hacked his computer.
yeah, which is now he's definitely having to watch his steps because again they can read what's going on in his head, and throughout this episode Armand is like, I don't know if Armand is doing this or Daniel is just like remembering a horrible moment in his life.
I think I think Armand is doing it because I think Armand knows what's going on.
Hmm.
Armand knows that Daniel is lying. Remember, Armand he's an ancient, so he has that ability. Like even when Claudia and Louis were lying about Lestat, he knew from day one because he has that ability. So he knows that Daniel is lying. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? So at this point, it's Armand fucking with him, I think. Like,
yeah,
I'm gonna break you. I'm gonna break you just to let you know that.
yeah, yeah. It's uh I think it's something about being with someone with a bag over their head, and then
Hmm.
we see like them dead with the bag over their head. So I guess the implication that we have right now is that Daniel might have killed someone.
He
Uh,
killed. Apparently, he killed a girl.
yeah,
Apparently, it was a female that he was with. I think maybe I I don't know whether Daniel did that intentionally or he took a sexual act too far.
yeah. I was thinking it might be the latter, but with the way this show goes, we really don't. It could definitely be that he ended up just killing this person, this girl, whoever she is. I'm sure we'll hear more about it soon. Um, uh, Throughout this episode, we learn that Santiago is attempting to lead the coven, and Daniel finds this old playbill that had notes on it for Claudia. That was basically just saying that she just has no passion on the stage. And when then we
Right.
cut back to Armand giving her those notes, and she says, what you said, that I'm a grown woman, a vampire is trapped in the body of a child. I have to live through that every day of my life, and I have to live through that with this dress on
And
in
this
this
damn
play
song.
and this damn song. And Santiago even steps up to defend her, but I don't know if it's more defending Claudia than it is just going
It's more,
after the issues with Armand and Louis.
yeah, it's more of not even, it's not pretty much defending Claudia. It's more of Santiago pointing out that a great law has already been broken.
Yeah.
He wants he wants Armand to pretty much, he wants Armand to kill Louis.
Mm-hmm.
Plain and simple. He's
And
like, yo,
it's not just him either. It's a good chunk of that troop.
like the whole coven wants Louis dead. They're like, yo, your man is pretty much going rogue out here. Because don't forget, Louis killed somebody. And they're like, yo, bro, your little side piece is putting us at risk. He's out here maiming people for no damn reason in the park. That's not what we about. We've lasted and we've chilled this long because we were able to do what we've been able to do. He's out
Yeah.
here frolicking with the mortals.
Yeah, and somebody else that's there even mentions, what does he tell his human friends as to why he can only meet them at night?
Right.
It's like that's a good question. It's a good point. Yeah, it's becoming more of an issue, and Santiago is starting to lead a bit of a charge against Armand, which he mentions to Louis. He does end up catching Claudia writing in the diary, and says, that's one of the laws you're breaking right now. She goes, it's not about the vampire stuff. It's more about just daily life and things. And he asked to read it, and she's been writing about people in the coven that have just kind of grown cold to her, and maybe it's out of jealousy or something, but they don't like her. But she's apparently written something nice about Santiago, because he says, I appreciate what you wrote about me. And she says, when did you read that? She goes, he just says,
now. I did just now.
Yeah. So he's building that connection with Claudia, but again, it's something about it is just, it's not right. There's something.
It's a false sense of security.
Yeah. And camaraderie.
You keep your enemy right. You keep your enemies, keep your friends close, and your enemies even closer. He knows he has a plan for her and Louis. And he knows Armand isn't going to be strong enough to do it. So he's like, yo, I got it. Armand wants to, buddy up with Louis. All right, this poor girl thinks that she's out here alone. Let me let her think she got a friend in me. You got a friend in me.
Walking alone. I'm walking down the street. Left foot,
right foot, left foot. Soulmates.
Exactly. So the coven goes out to dinner one night, and Louis is talking to Claudia about what he's experiencing in Paris, and Santiago starts to say word for word what Louis is about to say next, and then challenges him on the idea of Chicago. And he says, the way you go about the way you speak, you hang on that second syllable, much like people do in France. The French do.
He said you have a very much drawl, New Orleans drawl. He said, do me a favor, say New Orleans. And the next thing this is probably the first time you realize just how quick-tempered and just how vicious Louis can be.
Yeah,
because
it is a snap.
Quick. So quick that another vampire couldn't even stop him. Louis is over there with this motherfucker's tongue halfway out his fucking mouth. Like, go ahead, say it again. I couldn't fucking hear you. I couldn't hear you. Say it again. And I'm like, oh.
And even when Armand, he goes, enough, and then time stops, and the rest of the Sicilian necktie, Jesus. The rest of the coven's heads hit the table.
And Claudia, including Claudia.
Yeah. Louis is still tongue in hand. I didn't hear you. Finish it. What were you going to say? Say it. And it's like Armand he has no control over Louis, because he doesn't. He has no control.
He doesn't. He's not part of his coven. He hasn't accepted Armand as their master, as his master. So because of that, that's what made also the night that Armand walked Louis home, when Louis said, do you want to come upstairs? Because not being his master as a vampire, you still have to be invited into places. So Louis actually it was the first time Louis was inviting him in. So he was like, you're inviting me in? So that goes with that whole scenario right there. So because of that, he can't control him.
And this isn't the first time. This isn't the only time in the episode where Santiago gets bitched out, essentially, because it's not just Louis that does it. Later on, even Armand just pulls him out of nowhere. He was kind of hiding in the shadows and watching Armand and Claudia. He grabs him by the neck. What the? What do you do? Do you think you can control the coven? One hand up, choking him.
Pretty much let him know, Right? Pretty much letting them know, like, yo, I may seem fragile, but motherfucker, I will kill your ass. I will kill your ass. Don't fuck with me, little boy. Okay, that's pretty much what he told Santiago.
I might be scrawny, but I'm wiry.
Like,
You know?
like, bitch, it's chomp over here, baby. Like,
Yeah, you know, Santiago's kind of having a rough time when it comes to trying to take over the coven. He's been taken out by Armand and by the one guy that's not even in the coven. It's been a rough time for him.
right. It's kind of that's like Scar getting beat up every time he challenges Mufasa, and like the hyenas is looking at him like, "You what? You want? Come on, my nigga. Like, you getting beat up, bro. Like that's pretty much what that's about."
Yeah. Louis is attempting to make it in life as a photographer, but this guy that he goes to basically tells him that his pictures are just
Okay.
they're there. Yeah, they're there. And he says you have the eye, much like this American that's these pictures this American's done. You have the eye, but you're struggling to find it, and offers to like sell him some pictures that he can then pass on as his own. And he says Louis grabs his shit and he says fuck you, and then he walks off. And then Daniel Malloy is looking through his pictures in present time and he goes, these aren't that bad, Louis. These are actually pretty good, especially this one with this couple by the fountain with the light hitting it. And I feel like I've seen this before, like in a book or something. And Louis says, "There's a good reason to recognize that,
because that's not my shit."
Yeah, he says that belongs to Fred Stein, who is a real life photographer from Paris and who went to America during the World War II. And this starts a big old fight between Louis and Armand.
No, he's like, "How long have you like been passing off my Fred Stein's work as my work, yo?" Like,
yeah. And Armand says, I didn't put those in there. That could, and he says, well, who else would have done it? He says, Rashid. And like, don't put Rashid on. Don't throw Rashid on.
Don't do this shit to Rashid. Don't. Real Rashid did nothing.
Real Rashid deserves respect. I'm tired of
God damn it.
Rashid getting the damn short end of the stick.
Real Rashid is the truth.
Armand said that, and I was like, you motherfucker. Real Rashid has done nothing wrong. How dare you?
As a matter of fact, Real Rashid got smart with Daniel on your behalf. Because Daniel tried to hit him with the, how do you feel serving them, like knowing that you're in the food chain? Real Rashid said, fuck what you mean, homie? These dudes is gods. I feel honored. Fuck what you talking about, fool? Don't like Real Rashid got y'all back and you gonna throw him under the bus. You motherfucker, you. You motherfucker, you.
Shameful. That man has given his life to you, and this is how you repay him?
Literally.
Terrible.
Because you know he can't leave.
I'm glad you don't have the same appreciation for Rashid.
Right.
Yeah, he can't leave. If he's done, he's dead. So,
right. You know this motherfucker's dead for life, and that's how you gonna do him?
Bastards. Just terrible.
Right.
Right.
That's real fucked up. That's how you gonna do him. Oh man. See, you know what? Armand, you making me really not like you. Don't ever do that to Real Rashid again, bro.
That's what I'm saying, man. Armand's he's on thin ice. Thin ice with us.
Don't ever do that to Real Rashid again, bro. We watch enough movies. We know how to vampire hunt over here. Just to let you know. We know how to kill ancients on this side of the podcast.
Damn right.
Fucking with us.
Louis and Armand are getting like a fight because of just all the issues that they're having and how the coven is continuing to push him and prod and poke. And eventually Armand runs into Claudia, who is meeting the woman that sold her the dress a few episodes prior. And they're kind of becoming friendly. And the woman actually she's going on a period and bleeds through. And Claudia, yeah, you're right. She goes to a show. Claudia's having to hold back her like bloodlust once that happens. And this woman walks down to like go change. She goes, "Oh, I am like Gretel. I'm leaving a trail." Like, what? What?
Yeah, that was a pretty oh my god. Like oh my god. Like, dude,
oh my god.
dude, oh god. Like, and this is coming from a person with all daughters. Like, I'm a dad. I didn't like. I'm still like, ew, ew, ew. Oh my god. No wonder you're alone. You are. Oh,
No wonder.
like, oh.
Like, how many people do you run off with that exact claim? I'm leaving a trail. Going to the bedroom, I'm leaving a trail. I'm not following that.
I'm not following that shit. I ain't following that shit. Like, oh. Like, have some decency, woman. God. Oh.
Good Lord. But we also saw that she was like wiping off swastikas that people were leaving on her window.
Mm-hmm.
And it had to do with I guess she was with I think she was with like a Jewish boy a while back that had left, and there are people in the town that still align with Nazi beliefs, leaving those things on the window. But she walks off, and Armand spots Claudia there, walks in, pulls her out, and is trying to tell her, you need to align with the coven. You need to play your role. You need to stop fraternizing with humans. And Claudia tries to like speak up about it. And that's when Armand, by the throat, up against a pillar, and reveals that he knows about Lestat and what happened to him.
Mm-hmm. Well, course, you know what that means.
After that is when Santiago gets his, Armand goes after Santiago. Claudia shows up at Lou's apartment and says, why the fuck does he know about Lestat? How long does he know?
Lou's like, he's known since day one, blah, blah, blah. And she goes, once again, Louis, you're choosing him over me.
How many other motherfuckers are you going to choose over me? And then Louis says, you chose the coven over me. And throughout this entire episode, we do see Lestat still in Louis' mind. There's a point where like Armand is like trying to talk about how tough it is to do this while leading the coven. And you see Lestat lean over to like get a light from a candle, and Louis blows the candle out.
Right.
He just keeps fucking with him. And then Armand shows up and like speaks to Louis. He's using like a Shakespeare, like Romeo, a quote from Romeo, I think. Romeo and Juliet. And Lestat's ghost is just like, Romeo, and he's just laughing his ass off.
Right.
At the
Lestat is a complete asshole, and it's perfect. Because he is
so funny
fucking with Louis right now, and it's like he's like, oh, he's going to tell you he loves you. Oh,
it's just like, you're such a dick. You're such a dick.
Like, you're a fucking hater, my man. Like, I respect it. like that's
one headed to another.
Right, that's some top-notch level hating right there. To come and haunt a motherfucker like that, that's top-notch hating.
Not only to come haunt him, but to come like shit on his new boyfriend the whole time.
Right.
Like,
right. And the shit on his boy. Like, I had him. He ain't all that, trust me. Like, yo, what?
Just oh my god, he's that guy. The guy that got to play him is he's perfect. He's perfect as Lestat. After all that, Louis looks at Lestat and he says, "Want to go on a hunt?" And they go out and they go to a park and they sit on a park bench, and it's raining, and he's got the umbrella up, and him and Lestat are talking, and slowly Lestat says, "We're not really on a hunt, are we?" He says, "No." No, we're not. And he puts the umbrella down. And my buddy Kool-Aid pointed this out. He said, when you watch this scene, watch what the rain does around Lestat. And it's going through him.
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to how Lestat was originally like interacting with things around the world. When Louis was seeing him, now the rain is going through him, like he's not really there anymore. And slowly he begins to fade away, and it's like Louis is finally letting go. And Lestat, or whatever this vision of Lestat is, as he's fading, he's telling Louis that this suit on the left side, the ticket pocket, which is right over his heart. He said, I made sure that the tailor inscribed your initials there so that your name would always be near my heart. And that's when he fully disappears. And I guess for now, that's the last we're going to see of Lestat for a while. Louis finally let go and moved on.
Mm-hmm.
And that was actually kind of a sad. I felt kind of sad at that moment. Like,
it was,
because I think you said it before. We're like, he really does love Louis. He's a piece of shit and he's an abuser, but the love was real.
Yeah, the love unfortunately was real. It was a fucked up toxic love.
Yeah,
but
he did love him. Yeah,
he really did, because remember, he kind of put everything in Louis' name and shit like that. That's how like they were able to keep some kind of money. You know what I mean? But Louis finally let go. I guess Armand put it on his ass. He finally had to let go. Armand put it on Louis. And what you call it?
Yeah. Armand shows up and he says, "You called," and they're yeah. I should call him Cookies, bro. If you have a Lestat in your life, don't call him back, because that love ain't worth it.
Cookies,
brother, we love you. We want the best for you.
Right. There's a reason that they are an X. Always remember that. There's a reason that they are an X. All right. And in life, you can't take steps backwards. You have to take steps forward if you want to keep going to strive to be the best you can be.
Exactly.
Leave that alone. Don't do that. Don't do that, homie.
Yeah, it ain't worth it. It ain't worth it.
Right.
It's
love you too, brother.
It's a family thing here.
Right.
After this, we go back to the current time, and Armand and Louis are continuing to fight, and the fight's getting louder, and Daniel can hear the fight. But while the fight's going on, Armand is still in his head, flickering that memory of the girl with a bag over her head.
Right. You know what? The more we talked during this episode, and the more I started to think about it, I think it's Louis doing that thought in his head, not Armand.
Really?
I think it's Louis.
Okay.
Louis is the one who last time pushed Daniel to the point of needing a break. Armand had to stop Louis.
Yeah.
Louis tries his best to be as human as possible. So he has not let go of that sense in him. So he uses that to his advantage when he meets humans. And I think it's Louis that's doing this.
That's an interesting idea. Okay. Well, and yet we have seen Louis go off of like this episode when he jumped Santiago. We've seen that when Louis is frustrated enough, he starts becoming more aggressive, more controlling, more just so I am
a fucking vampire. I will kill you. I will eat you. At the end of the day, I'm higher on the food chain. He has no problem reminding people of that when he feels he is pushed to that limit. As he's been progressing into more and more of getting into e- exactly, exactly. You at when you're a pimp, you gotta be a badass to a certain extent. You gotta be a badass because you gotta have these women believe enough in you to where they'll do anything to give you the money for the acts that they're committing. And then you gotta be so you have to have that verbal ability to do that. And then you also gotta have the physical ability to be a badass because you're gonna have people trying to take your women.
Yeah.
People that's gonna try to not do right, not pay your women. So bringing that, you have to have a certain level of to be a pimp. You got to be manipulative, intelligent, um, be able to coerce anyone at any time. So to be able to actually be able to do that as a human, and now you're undead, where those abilities are now multiplied, and you have the extra ability of being able to now truly control someone's thought, emotion, feeling, being on what they do. That's a dangerous combination.
Yeah, it is. Um, and I didn't even think about it possibly being Louis, but yeah, it very well could be Louis if messing with him. Because again, we see in all these previews and every episode, they keep saying Armand's not the one to worry about.
And then on top of that, you got to remember this is you got to remember, didn't Louis and Daniel say that their first interview ended with Louis almost killing Daniel?
Not only did they say that, we actually saw bits and pieces of that night this episode.
Right.
And it ended. This episode ends like it breaks off mid sentence, but it ends with Daniel hearing Armand try to get Louis off of him.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the cut. Then that's when we wrap up. So yeah, Louis has always shown no matter how hard he wants to hide it, he does have those tendencies.
He does have those, and because what makes Louis scarier than the other vampires is because he tries so hard to hide those instincts which are now in him that when they come out, they're raw, unhinged, untamed. Whereas if he embraced those instincts, he's able to control, maintain, be able to do things at a moderate level with everything. So when he finally lets those go, he's an complete animal.
Yeah. Maybe that's why vampires shouldn't try to be human emotion with vampire strength. I mean, yeah, because they do keep Armand many times over has kind of like joked about Louis wanting to try to hold on to his humanity, but maybe it's for a reason. Maybe that's what it is. Is this that
like you can't
holding on to that human? Humans have emotion, and we're led by emotion. Most of us are. And as a vampire, when you have all that power, that's like you said, it's a bad concoction.
But at the same time, if vampires already have emotion, how is that their fault?
Yeah. I guess it's one of those because now I think Louis in present day versus Louis back in these when we go to the flashbacks, you see present day Louis is a bit more calm and soft spoken or at least he's playing off like he is.
I'm about to say present day Louis is to me, present day Louis is a psychopath.
I think that's partly what it is. Like he's playing up the idea of him being more.
I think he's
peace.
A sociopath. I think that man. He's pretty much Dexter.
Mm.
like that. That's how I see Louis. Like the calm, collected. Oh, okay, yeah, 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 yeah. But at the end of the day, he got a whole head in his fridge,
Hmm.
literally, because that's how he has to stay alive. He literally probably does have a whole head in his fridge.
Possibly does.
Like,
Yeah.
right,
One,
like
one, one
possibly,
shot.
right,
Has a
not
few,
doubt it whatsoever.
oh, this
You
one's
know what I
gone
mean?
bad. Throw it out.
Right. You know what I mean? Like fucking cabbages. So like, like so like
uh,
I think Louis is a complete nut job.
yeah. The more I think about it, I think you're right. I think they're trying to get us with a red herring about Armand, where we're thinking he's the one that's like causing Daniel's issues and also trying to mess things up here, and maybe was the one screwing things up back in the day. Maybe it wasn't Armand. Maybe
I
this
don't
whole time it actually hasn't been.
I don't think it has been because you got to think about this. Armand from until he met Louis, he's always been thrown into a situation that he didn't want. He said he didn't want to be the leader of a coven, especially one that was going through what they were going through.
Mm-hmm.
He's like he struggled just to get them to be the hideaway rats that they were living as.
Yeah, he had to learn a new way to handle them through Lestat.
Right. And then on top of that, he said he was going to a country where the language was his fourth worst. You know what I mean? So like
Yeah.
he was even when he was like full on coven leader, he still showed tendencies of not wanting to be there, not really caring. Like he didn't want his role. So you can tell he was always thrown into something. Like Armand, you can definitely tell has always wanted to be, yo, I just want to chill, be easy every now and then, eat a motherfucker, because I gotta live. You know what I mean? And call it a day. Call it a day. That's you could tell that's what he's about. I just want to make Armand's pretty much like, yo, I ain't gonna hold you. Let's stop. Let me know how to make bread, and I'm down with making this money and chilling, my guy.
And that's kind of how he is in present day because he's
Right,
talking about selling these paintings and selling different properties. And Louis like,
right.
who's coming?
Who
What are we selling?
what are we selling? Right, like that's what causes the actual argument
Yeah,
because they go up to try to do the actual the sale, and when they get back to the bedroom, Louis like, "Will you one motherfucking tell me next time you decide to sell some of our shit?" And he's like, "You think?" Pretty much, Armand tells him, "You think we've been living the luxury in life we've been living without me selling shit? That's the purpose of being a vampire. We collect the shit and we can sell the shit." Which is fucking the truth. If I'm a vampire, I'm gonna be the meanest Antica in the business if I'm a vampire, bro. Are you kidding
yeah,
me?
yeah.
Especially if I get turned back in like the 1400s or some shit. Oh, nigga, I am racking up bread. Are you,
And then hell,
yo?
every 50 or 100 years, you just go get the shit back, resell it. Like, I don't mean you gotta get it back by like buying it back. You go get it back.
You're a fucking vampire. You take it.
Yeah.
You eat them and you take your shit back. Like, you know how much resale you gonna get on these? Oh
Mm-hmm.
my gosh, bro. You know how many times I would have sold the fucking Mona Lisa back to the Louvre?
Man, every 40 years, it's just every time. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna live, if you're an immortal, you gotta live, and if you're gonna live, you might as well live a luxurious lifestyle.
Guy, the Vatican? Oh, these niggas would have got hit every 50, 75 years. Bing! We got robbed for everything. Well, I know a guy who knows somebody who may have some shit you may need. Well, we look alike on price.
Sell it back piece by piece, and then get it all again. Restart. Yeah. part of the game.
Listen. There's no way. What? Real estate? Oh my God. Yeah, all this land belongs to me. And you want to build what? Let's talk some numbers.
Absolutely.
Like, this man owns the entire state of North Carolina, South Carolina. We want to make him 2 states. Nope. This is the United Nation of Kenny. Step over here if you want. Your ass to get bit.
Oh God. All right. Anything else we need to cover on this episode before we call it?
Besides Santiago, I think that the female vampire that he mentioned is somebody that Claudia definitely needs to keep an eye on.
Yeah.
Because exactly, Batty. Exactly. Yo, like, there's no way I'd be money, not a problem. I think that, but the female vampire that's playing her mother in the play, she needs to watch out for her. If for no other reason, jealousy on the main stage. Claudia has now become the main star of their troupe. People are specifically coming for this portion of the play.
Yeah, I think by the last time we see it, half of that crowd is dressed up as Baby Luke.
Right.
Dresses and all. Waiting to be sprayed by blood when the foot gets
right.
Yeah. It's
right.
It's a big thing. It's a big thing. So yeah, I think yeah, like she said, some of them have jealousy, and that woman that Santiago mentioned might play a pretty big part very soon. Without giving away, because Maddie seems like she has not looked into this stuff. Without giving away anything, what do you think we might be seeing in the next episode or two? Because we only have a few episodes left.
I know. I think what's gonna wind up happening is we're gonna end up seeing either an overall revolt where Santiago's gonna be able to get enough people on his side, or we're gonna see Armand join Louis and Claudia and like dip out the country. Because remember, he did say, Louis, go back to such and such and such.
Yeah.
Like he was like, yo, you can go start a new life in London. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I can see Armand being like, yo, let's grab Claudia and let's be out, bro. Let's grab Claudia and let's be out, my guy, because they're coming for us.
So, yeah, that's a possibility. Well,
those are my two choices. Those are my two choices. I'm sitting there like, either it's a wrap, they got him, the gig is up, or Armand is gonna slip them out, bro.
I'm on the edge of my seat at this point, just waiting to see what's gonna happen next. I don't know what we're about to see. Because again, this show has changed a lot of things, but I'm nervous. I'm very nervous for everybody involved. Just to see, what happens. Like I have a feeling that dressmaker ain't making it too much longer. I have a feeling that this
only because of Claudia, dumbass, yo. Because like they said, don't fraternize, and like you already committing 3 of the 4 laws, and now you're gonna add a 4th.
At a certain point, Santiago can't just look away.
Yo, my nigga, you breaking every law.
Come on. Come on. At some point, we got to do something about this. Like, at some point, this is on you.
Yo, that's like a criminal that keeps showing up in front of the same judge. Judge is like, oh, this nigga again. Like my man's. Like, I'll let you slide the last time. You know what? It is what it is. I'm gonna go by the rules now.
I go by the book. I tried last time, it didn't work. Folks, you can follow us at facebook.com/UnderTheRingPod and twitch.tv/UnderTheRingPod to know when we're going to go live. If you follow us there, you'll get notifications. Next week, we're doing this as well as the House of the Podcast. We're going to cover the first season of House of the Dragon in about an hour because next Sunday, we back. We back, and we're going to see some fighting. I got to...
Because, woo, we left off.
What an ending. What an ending of the season.
We about to have a fucking war. The way we left off. Woo!
Oh, baby. It's about to get good. It's about to get good. And then next this winter, we get a Last of Us, which they just revealed is about to be broken up into 3 different seasons. Which now I wish they did that for the first season. Y'all could have definitely spread that out some. But it's cool. It's cool. Kenny, again, if you ever see anything pop up on Facebook or Twitter about Last of Us, don't look at the comments. Stay away from those comments. Don't let that.
I did. I think I did a great job last season, not even going near those. Like literally, I think my algorithm on or Facebook and Instagram is on some.
Good. Good. You can also follow us on our link tree, which is also /UnderTheRingPod, where you'll get our links. I'm at Greg Bush SK. My co-host today, Kenny at RockRibs44.
And you'll see Naya there too, because as you can hear, she wants to be part of the show.
She always is. She's always welcome to part of the show. 1,000%. We got our current for now until tomorrow predictions champion, Mr. Freshbeard. Then we got the forever IC champion, the final Maddie, and Kenny's Are You Fucking Serious winner, Matt at The Right Answer, which y'all will be defending in 2 weeks.
You know what? I don't mind defending that belt because I told you I got a game plan and a strategy.
Hey, it worked last time.
It worked.
You figured out your strategy quick. You knew exactly what you were doing.
Took me 3 questions in to figure out what the hell I'm going to do. I was like, oh, no, this is what's going to go down.
Of course, our street team captain, Tito at Borea Maliente. And last but not least, our good friend and local news correspondent, Justin D. Baxley.
Justin, we love you, brother.
Love you, brother. Folks, we'll see y'all Monday to talk NXT Battleground, get ready for Raw. And, maybe we'll tell y'all who fucking won. We'll see. Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? Dun, 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 dun. Until then, it's Kenny logging out. Peace.
One time for you. Hey, hit it. Hey, do dog. Bite down. Bite down. Bite down.
Don't bite down. Don't bite. No biting.